now I'm an interdisciplinary project-based artist. That's how I describe my practice, because I work across a number of different mediums, and it's different project by project.
And what do you find is captivating or attracting you now in terms of the projects, or how do you choose your projects?
So for the past year and a half, I was working on a project that kind of happened serendipitously. I had been doing some independent research prior to that about Southeast Queens, which is where I live in New York, and the art histories there and the Native American histories there. And an opportunity came up to submit a proposal for an exhibition called Jamaica Flux, which is run by Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning, JCAL. And it's the exhibition puts artists into public spaces along Jamaica Avenue, which is a busy shopping center in Jamaica, Queens, shopping area. And so I proposed collecting oral histories from local artists, as well as doing archival research about the art histories of our area. And that proposal I submitted, that was prior to the pandemic, and then it was accepted during the lockdown. So I started collecting the oral histories from the artists on Zoom, and then the archival research, which I had expected to be physically in libraries, I wasn't able to do that. So it was mostly online. Well, it was, yeah, all online, except for what I had done prior on my own in the library. And so the proposal for that project was to collect these oral histories and then create a collage representing everything that I learned from this research. And then as I was talking to the artists and as I was conducting all of this research, I realized that visual representation wasn't going to be enough. So I created the collage, and that was exhibited at Andrew Friedman Home in the Bronx through a residency at Residency Unlimited. They had a virtual residency during the lockdown. And it was also exhibited in Jamaica, Queens at the Coliseum Mall as part of Jamaica Flux. And then but before I even completed that, and once I realized I was compiling all of this information, I submitted to Women's Studio Workshop. They have a grant called the Right Now Production Grant. So it was about creating a quick publication. So I published an artist book in the form of a scroll that is called A Brief People's Art History of Southeast Queens. And that was the written portion, the written iteration of the project. And then I also applied later in the year for a grant from Queens Council on the Arts to create a documentary that was using all of these Zoom interviews to create a documentary. So for the past year and a half, I've been completely immersed in that project and that research because I've had the opportunity to get funding and exhibition opportunities. And so I've had that as my motivation, and the deadlines looming. And so the inspiration came, but then once the opportunities came, then I had to, fulfill deadlines.